Today I want to teach you that writers get ready to write information texts about literature by planning sections or chapters that showcase their most insightful, important thoughts about the text. They redraft until they have a plan that makes sense and that encompasses the most important points about the text. You all know that when writing an information text, it's important to write a table of contents or an organizational outline and to plan what content will go into each chapter or each part. To make such a plan, information writers take stock. They figure out what information and ideas need to be included in their text. Then they figure out what they've already written that can go into the text, as well as what they still need to write. You've done that work around youth activists, girls' education, and other topics. This time, the difference is you'll be writing about a text, not a topic. Let's try this by imagining we were going to write a companion book for the Stolen Party. Let's look back at entries that I've written and ask these questions. What is important to say about this text? What ideas and observations could become chapters in our companion book? We could probably dedicate a whole section to Rosara. I'm thinking, though, that we need to break that big topic down more. We need some sort of angle on Rosara. Just like the Hunger Games Companions chapter on Katniss wasn't all about Katniss. It addressed a particular aspect of her survival instincts and strategies. So we need to think a bit more specifically about Rosara. Like, we could talk about Rosara's relationships. Maybe her relationship with her mom. I'm going to need to put some post-its on the pages in my reading notebook where I write about Rosara and her mom. We're right to think that her relationship is important in this story. So I'm going to start a list of possible chapters. Do you think that we could also have a section about Rosara and Senora Ennis? Does that feel like a different chapter? It does, doesn't it? But I wonder if we would have enough to say. It looks like so far there is a sort of a pattern for these chapters. All of them so far are Rosara and... So I'm wondering if there are other people or groups of people that Rosara interacts with that we want to include on our list. We could add a chapter on Rosara and the magician. But I think there are other really important ideas we have about the Stolen Party. I have so many different entries about the Stolen Party, entries about things other than how Rosara interacts with the other characters. And remember, in the Hunger Games Companion, there were a variety of chapters. Chapters about topics other than Katniss or her relationships. Chapters about the weapons, the setting. Even chapters on bigger ideas and themes, like good versus evil. So let's go back to the Stolen Party and think, what are some other topics or big ideas that we have? I know, we also have some writing here about the kitchen and how important it seems. And I bet I could have some other chapters about things that are important. Now I want you to do some of this work. Take out your writer's notebook. What do you think? What other chapters might go in our table of contents? What else is important to this story? Important enough to have its own chapter? Pause the video while you take some notes on other possible chapters. Once you have a list of chapters, you're going to want to take a look and make sure that your plan doesn't have chapters that might overlap. Because if two of them hold the same stuff, we'll need to combine them or just take them out. And we need to be sure this is a sequence we want and that these are the chapters. I'm thinking about which part of the story we'll be discussing in each chapter. The first chapter will be the earliest scene with the invitation. That's good. But what about the last chapter? So far we have Rosara and her mother, Rosara and the Innes family, Rosara and the magician. Chapter 4 then turns to the significance of the kitchen. Chapter 5, the magic show matters. And Chapter 6, $2 change everything. The last chapter might discuss what Rosara learns about life by the end of the book. But I'm wondering if there's 2 chapters that do overlap, Rosara and the magician and the magic show matters. Writers, now it's your turn. Go back to the lesson platform for a step-by-step review of how to plan your table of contents.